of killing. This latest case comes as the obsession with true crime continues to grow around the country. Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story on Netflix, has the biggest series debut in Netflix history with more than 196 million views in the first week.
Oh. Oh, what is that smell?
So what is our fascination with serial killers? It goes back decades and decades, all the true crime shows. Scott Duffy, who was with the FBI, special agent in charge of Delaware. Also, you're still teaching, a professor as well, joins us right now.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. So let's just start with that. What is this fascination with these really bad humans?
Who doesn't love a good serial killer movie or show, or just the fascination? It's 28 years in law enforcement, and I'm still fascinated by the whole
You've interviewed a lot of murderers.
I have interviewed a lot of murderers and serial criminals with similar mindsets.
Well, again, the question, why are we fascinated by it, do you think?
I think the fascination is just like a car accident or a house fire or some other tragedy. Something takes place and people they just gather, whether they want to help or really they just want to Google and like in awe, while law enforcement is there at the front lines investigating, going inside a crime scene, and people are, what's going on? And people are just fascinated.
So we're learning, I think for a lot of people, they weren't alive when many of these cases came out, many in the 70s, from Dahmer, Ted Bundy, the Zodiac Killer. So we think about Bundy. So I think a lot of times it's scary, it's horrifying, and you want to sort of solve it along with the police. We're all like, can we make the connections?
Yes.
Can we figure out, are they trying to send us a message? You know, I think many people thought that, certainly with the Zodiac Killer. Are they trying to taunt police? Is there a game of cat and mouse going on?
Absolutely. I think with regards to serial killers, you have the history, not the history of serial killers doesn't really go all that far back. In the 70s and the 80s, even today, you have more of occurrences of serial killers, but with regards to the serial killer, there may be that cat and mouse game of reaching out through a letter, reaching out. I mean, the BTK killer, right? I mean, just the idea of this taunting, and there is that fascination not only from the serial killer themselves, where they want to be a part of this game, and it is a game. It is a fascination. Call it an abnormality, whatever you want to call it. There's so much to it. But no doubt that there is this taunting of catch me if you can.
Well, like Karen said, you're kind of wondering what the heck would be the motive. And in one of these clips here, we're going to show you the guy that plays Dahmer here. Well, he says this.
I do think I was born like this. Like, I don't think there was something that happened that made me like this. Because this was always just how I was.
Was it attention seeking? Do you think that this, I mean, a lot of this in the 70s came before the age of anybody can be famous on whatever, on the gram and on your phone and everything like that, where they, I don't know what, I mean, what do you know? You study this stuff. Does it stem from whatever, inadequacies in childhood and wanting to be loved and attention, or what's it coming from?
Yeah, so being with the FBI and having retired a couple of years ago and being able to study and have the resources of the behavioral science unit, which has come tremendously over time, but they started in the 70s with this occurrence of, are there patterns to this type of behavior, and then looking at the mindset of these individuals, and these individuals who could be studied, who could be interviewed. Sure, there's manipulation in place. There's a bit of a narcissism or so forth. But then you have individuals that absolutely, why did they choose the path that they chose? They're caught now. And for those that exist today to be interviewed and to provide law enforcement that information, that we could develop patterns and try to come up with some sort of understanding.
We kind of cynically said at the top here, who doesn't love the serial? You know, there are a lot of people that don't love this and refuse to watch it. Certainly people that were affected by the crimes hate the fact that it's on. And I'm sure there are a lot of you watching now, who don't want to see it. You don't want to watch it. So let us know on Twitter. Are you one of the people that's watching it?
I am watching.
You are watching it. His son's watching it too. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.